Hi guys, this is going to be my entry into Checkmate's possible pouch competition. The idea of this competition was to put together a possibles pouch so that if that pouch was the only thing you had, like you know, for some reason lost all of your gear in a hypothetical situation, if this pouch was all you had left, it would give you the greatest chance of survival for just what's in that small pouch. I do hope that you will pick the winner on which possibles pouch you believe would give you the greatest chance of survival in an emergency out in the bush, as opposed to, you know, pulling it out of a hat. Because I've seen some really good entries and I've seen some really bad entries. For example, I really liked Rendar's entry, and you know, a pouch like that is the reason why I kind of turned my nose up at the Bear Grylls Ultimate Survival Kit, because, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but does that Ultimate Survival Kit not even have a way to purify water? Or make it safe to drink? Yes, very ultimate. Well, no. Rendar 600 did a great possibles pouch. It's got, you know, he's got the 5 C's, and he's got backups for those 5 C's. He may not have backups for every single one of them. I'd have to go through and check again, but he did a great patch. And I think it would be a shame if someone who did a great pouch like that would, you know, through the luck of the draw, lose to, say, the person who put in a couple of rocks and had to think about whether or not to put a horseshoe in it. Seriously, someone entered with, you know, yeah, I'm not going to get into it, but it was just, yeah, he missed the point. As much as I like Rendar, his was the one that I figured, right, I have to beat that one. So it took me a while, because I really wanted to because Rendar's one was awesome, so it kind of inspired my competitive side to try and outdo that one, and I think I might have done it. So that was the goal, to beat that one, because it was so great. And honestly, I'll leave it up to you, but I think I might have beaten it. I had to put a lot of stuff in, but you know, I think I've got a pretty out there possibles patch. It's this one. It is a 1 litre dry bag, and now most people went with, you know, a pouch of some kind, you know, like a little organizer or a magazine pouch, but I went with this because the actual pouch itself is a piece of survival gear. This line that I put on it with a Sharpie, when this is filled up to that line, then it has exactly 1 litre in it. There, so you know that's your 1 litre, so you can use your chlorine tablets, which only purify 1 litre each. So, well, but let's get into the actual gear. Oh no, I forgot to put that in it. See, I was going to have that attached to the loop, but no, well, I forgot to put it in it, so I guess that's out. That's just a compass and thermometer. Oh well, no big deal. Alright, let's have a look at the actual contents. I hope this isn't too big. It's the length of my hand, like the one you showed as an example for dimensions, and It's maybe a hand's width wide, so it's not that big, but to be honest, if you couldn't survive in an area like where I am with this, something really went wrong. Okay, let's get into it now. I got, the little wind up, hand cranked torch. That ain't gonna do much, but it's better than nothing and it doesn't run out of batteries. Got an Opnil 8 because, well, you know how awesome they are. And they shoot great sparks. The heart of this is probably the EPIRB. It's one of the most powerful pieces of survival gear you can own. This device, when activated, contacts search and rescue and tells them exactly where you are within about 100 meters. And will contact them constantly for about 24 hours. I could check, it might go for longer, but to be honest, you're gonna get to the chopper in that time. Nah. I mean, seriously, if you're in a life and death situation, this will tell people to come and get you right then and there. And well, if you're in a world of hurt, this really can be a lifesaver. I mean, you're not going to die of exposure too easily out here within 24 hours, and well, that's to basically ensure you're going to get rescued. And yeah, another reason why the bag is orange, because once you've got that full of water, you can hang that up in a tree somewhere. It makes you a little bit more visible for search and rescue trying to find you. Now, I got some slingshot bands. You wanted in the kit a means of procuring food. When it comes to, short term, I'd just be going for plants. I know plenty of plants in this area. I'm looking at a edible wild ginger right now. It's right behind the camera. And there's tons of stuff around here. And to be honest, in 24 hours, I ain't gonna starve to death. So, and to be honest, with that EPIRB, you should be out of your survival situation well and truly before you would starve to death. It's, you wouldn't really, in all honesty, you really would not need a means of hunting, but that's what this gives you. These are the heavy-duty black slingshot bands, or bait caster, whatever you want to call it, to for political reasons or whatnot. But that can be used, as is, to hunt small game. Pulling it back way further than that, of course. You can always put it on an actual fork, use it like a normal slingshot. You could beef it up to a sling bow, and I've even seen people make crossbows using these, capable of taking down small game. Birds, rabbits and things. That's... But to be honest, for me to do that would be illegal because it's a crossbow. But in an emergency situation, that gives you a lot of options. That could allow you to hunt small game, if you know what you're doing. Well, you wanted some first aid type stuff. Now, the things that are going to kill you really fast out here are going to be snake bites or bleeding out. This is a trauma bandage. It's a wound dressing. It's designed to be put on big gaping wounds to stop you from bleeding to death. You're probably not going to accidentally slice yourself open, although that has happened. I have a subscriber who had a bit of a severe accident with a knife, and bleeding to death, that's a serious issue. So if you can't get out of there in a short period of time and you're bleeding heavily, you get this out, stop the bleed, turn on the EPIRB, build a signal fire if you think you need it, and just wait for rescue, and hopefully they will get to you in time. And to make it to apply more pressure, I've got a bandage for snake bites. These two together is going to be way better than just some aspirin if you get gored by a pig or something, or mauled by a wild dog or something, or get mangled. And to me, snake bites and deep puncture wounds and bleeds way more important than having some Panadol or something. So that, if I can only take 2 pieces of first aid, those are the 2 pieces of first aid I want, because we've got some of the world's most venomous snakes, and if you're way out in the middle of nowhere and got no chance of getting back to civilization, because a brown snake can kill in hours. Hell, there's stories of people dying within an hour of being bitten. I would be hard pressed to get back to the car in an hour. So yeah, that will buy me a lot more time. And if I get chewed up by a wild dog, which are out here, or gored by a pig, which there's a pig out here that is definitely way bigger than I am. In fact, the wild dogs out here are bigger than I am. So yeah, those could be lifesavers. So that's my first aid equipment. I've got a Mylar emergency blanket for my non-permeable barrier. That's to help keep the rain off of me. Now I've also got a lot of fishing line and duct tape in here, so you could, if you wanted to, set this up as a tarp using the I've got 100-pound test fishing line and lots of it in there, and duct tape. So you can set this up to keep the rain off this. You can set this up, keep the rain off of you. You can use it like a poncho. You can just wrap yourself up in it. That's to keep you dry and help you thermal regulate, so you don't die of exposure. Which honestly, yeah, it could happen if it started raining and there was a lot of wind. It's a maybe. Now I've got 50 1-litre water tabs. Definitely do not need that much. Fill this up to 1 litre, pop that in it. That's if you turn on that EPIRB and search and rescue has not found you in the amount of time it took you to go through consuming 50 litres of water, they're probably not coming. I got myself a Watchman torch. These are awesome. They're about 24 bucks. They're 150 lumens. It's got a bright setting. Oh, no, that's on beam. It's got a dull setting, and it's got a strobe. Oh, hope no one's got epilepsy, but yeah. If you turn on that EPIRB, and there's people looking for you, you've got your big smoke signal and your signal fire going, that's great. But if, they come by and you're not ready, that will help attract attention, along with the orange of this and the shiny Mylar. You wanna make sure search and rescue can actually find you when they turn up. Now, what was that? Okay, right, you did say you wanted a means to purify water. Now, to be honest, that would pretty much mean distilling. I'm assuming you actually meant make it safe. Now, I do have the water purification tabs, and I've got it marked off at 1 litre, so you know how much you can actually fill this up and then use it, which is something I've never seen anyone else ever do. I don't know, I think it's a good idea. But I've also got coffee filters. If the water's a bit turbid, this coffee filter will actually block off that entrance, and you can fold it back over the top. See, now that would be fine if you got a waterfall or something, which there are plenty of around here. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know. But if you just fill up from a creek, you could seal the area around it with some of the duct tape if you really want to get pedantic, or you can just hold it on and scoop it up and filter out some of the crud and debris and stuff. That will help the water purification tabs work even better. Alright, I've got a Bic lighter, a full one, a brand new one. Yeah, I can definitely get a fire going with that. And if that wasn't enough, I've got these. They're paraffin wax soaked into cotton balls. I got 3 of them. Honestly, I do not think I have used artificial tinder like that out in the bush for maybe, it would be about 2 years now. I think the last time I used a cotton ball was purely so I could teach a friend of mine how to use a ferro rod. There's so much natural tinder around here, I just use what's natural around here because there's just so much of it. I've got an optional number 2 just as a little backup. Alright, I've got fishing hooks for smaller fish. You know, the kind of fish you might find in a river or something. Probably not around here. There's crayfish, but there's not much in the way of decent sized fish. Probably the biggest fish I've seen in this little creek is about that long. But you know, but then again, there's so much wild edibles, I'd be going after the plant stuff before I even went after those. Right. Now, so let's say you want to get your signal fire going. In here, now, you all know me. You know, well, a lot of yous would know that I typically carry a large wilderness knife. So I like having that ability to easily collect lots of firewood and get a fire going. Now, because of the size of this kit, I'm limited to much smaller blades. Could you imagine cross-cutting something about the size of your wrist with that? You know, notching it. You can do it, it will take time, it's not very efficient. So, I got this. What this is a chainsaw blade with handles on the end of it. You know those little commando wire saws? I've tried them. Personally, I think they suck. This works so much better, it's not even funny. I would suggest not even bothering with those little commando wire saws. Just get one of these. These things blast those little commando wire saws out of the water so much it's not even funny. And it's in a little, it's in its own bag, so it will hopefully not puncture this one, which is another reason for the duct tape. If you get a little, a little nick in this, you can patch it up with the duct tape. But once it's, once you've made it potable and safe to drink, you can transfer it into this, so you've got even more storage. Now, that's another thing. I don't know if anyone else has a means to carry water in their possibles pouch. You can purify a litre and carry it in this. Although, if you've got your EPIRB on, probably better off just chilling out, building a signal fire and waiting for someone to come and get you. But yeah, and of course you can transfer that out into here and get even more water, and you'll have to basically put everything else in your pocket. But it gives you more. It gives you more versatility. It increases. Increases what you can get away with. Now, I do have a ferro rod. This is just, this is my crocodile skin ferro rod I made. No advantage over a normal ferro rod. I just, it's bling. This is probably the only thing in the whole kit that is not pure business. Everything in here is just totally serious. And while this is a 1/4 inch thick ferro rod, which is what I usually use to light my fires. And to be honest, in this environment, if I could not get a fire going with a ferro rod and an optional carbon, I would actually feel quite ashamed of myself. But yeah, that's my little real Australian croc skin ferro rod. So pretty. Although somehow I managed to put it on the first dud fire steel I've found from bush tracks. This thing shoots a spark closer to maybe it's about as good as a Swedish fire steel. Maybe as bad as a Gerber fire steel. It still works, but it's not as good as what I have come to expect from fire tracks. It's like, wah, wah. I went and made this beautiful piece of crocodile bling, but I put it on a not so awesome fire steel. Wah, wah. Alright, we're getting close to the end. Yes, there's still more gear in here. It was packed in very tightly. Alright, now I have a cup. Now, that section that's from there till there, wrapped really tightly and really close together, is 100-pound test fishing line. Way stronger than what you would need for a fish around here. But you know what? If you wanted to use it for snares, it would be stronger. If you wanted to use it as a means of cordage to hold your tarp up, it's stronger. I went with the stronger fishing line to give you more firepower, per se. You know, it gives you more versatility. Now, that kind of sucks if you're fishing small fish. Wait, where'd it go? Oh no, don't tell me I forgot it. I did. Oh, I had a tracer line or something. You know, the line on the swivels with the lots of little lines coming off of it with the tiny little fish hooks on it. No, something for, you know, going after really small river fish. I had it done up all nice in duct tape so it wouldn't puncture anything, and I've left it at home. Oh well, you've still got you've still got that. And to be honest, if you starve to death waiting for search and rescue to come after setting that EPIRB off, they probably were never coming. You know, if it takes you 3 weeks to starve to death, it should have not taken search and rescue that long to find you when they've been given your coordinates within 100 meters. You're not going to starve to death. Well, you shouldn't, unless something really goes wrong, like it's the end of the world and no one told you because you were out fishing. I've still got, you know, you could say make some snares and stuff, but, you know, there's plenty of stuff to eat out here that you don't need to catch. But let's say you wanted to eat a bit of meat. Here's something else that could get you something to eat. These are 18-inch long, 80-pound traces. They're for fishing. You know, went into BCF and bought them for, it was like $5. You know, cheap as hell. Weigh pretty much nothing. It kept it in the bottom of my cup. They take up almost no room. And in about 2 seconds, this can be converted into a wire snare. Now, you know, all you gotta do is feed that through that little hole. I don't trap because I don't know all of the legality in what's legal and what's not. I have been told that you can use snares if you use them in a way that targets legs, but I don't know for sure. To be honest, I would actually want to read the legislation before I start doing any actual trapping, because I'm not that keen on getting nicked. I kind of like being outside of prison. Right, so, you know, in the bottom of that I've got, you know, two more of those cotton balls soaked in Vaseline, and one of these. This is just a little coffee lolly, good for your glucose, you know, just a bit of sugar, and, you know, you suck on one of these and it's like, it is so close to actually drinking coffee in the way it tastes. Just for all you people out there who honestly think they would die without coffee. So yeah, these can be converted into snares. This can be used for hunting, but if I was to set this up as a crossbow, it would be illegal, so I'm not going to do that. But you know what, if your life depended on it, I'm not going to tell you not to. Whether or not you do is totally up to you. I would not judge you if you did, if your life is depending on it. And a little multi-tool. This is just a SCA. It's got, you know, the standard, a file, a knife, screwdriver, can opener, scissors, another screwdriver. That definitely something you would want to have if you end up boiling in this. That just gives you another option for making your water safe. Boiling it, you know, you probably don't want to just reach in and pull that out of the fire, because there's a good chance you'll get horribly burned. So, you know, get pliers, get it out of the fire without burning yourself. I've been there. It's not fun. Actually, I've had that happen to me around here. Alright, so I think that is everything. I've got ferro rod. I've got 2 op mills, a number 2 and number 8. I've got fishing hooks. I've got traces which can be used as snares in an emergency. I've got the saw so you can process much more firewood much easier for your signal fire. I've got stuff to stop you from I've got stuff to hopefully stop you from bleeding to death while waiting for search and rescue. I've got stuff to hopefully stop a snake bite from killing you while waiting for search and rescue. I've got a non-permeable barrier to help you thermal regulate and, you know, keep yourself dry. I've got ferro rod, I may have already said that. I've got 5 of these paper filters just to, you know, help clean your water a bit more if you don't want to make a foxhole. Or, you know, you can't, you know, a lot of this is just granite, so, you know, there's bits of gravel where you can dig for water. You know, you've got two different light sources. I'm so glad this thing actually was able to fit in there, because, well, this is a really, really good torch for the money. I mean, $24, 150 lumens, bright, dim, and strobe setting with and you can focus the beam. Awesome! And of course I've got the EPIRB so that search and rescue can come and get you in an emergency. I think it's an actual criminal offence to use those EPIRBs when it's not an emergency. Yeah, oh, and of course I've got plenty of duct tape, because, well, the amount of things I have fixed and even just made from duct tape, I've lost track of. I even make knife sheaths out of them. And, you know, I got extra duct tape on there. I got extra duct tape on the fishing hooks. I got, you know, and the fishing hooks have got little red beads to help attract fish. And under there, I have no idea how much fishing line is actually on there, but it's quite a lot. There's quite a bit of cordage on there. So, yeah. If you turn that EPIRB on and you have all of this, your chances of survival are probably pretty good, unless, you know, you can't stop the bleed, or the snake, or you succumb to the snake bite, or you I don't know, have an allergic reaction, maybe you fall off or something, you know. But honestly, I'm not sure. That might be the most extreme little survival kit I've ever seen. I've seen ones that, you know, I could make it better if I wanted to spend the money. I mean, they now have, I bought that EPIRB and a week later they have them less than half the size now. So I could have crammed more in. Could have maybe went with a smaller torch. But, you know, honestly, I think that is an extreme amount of capability in a small survival kit for the volume. In my environment, death would have to be pretty imminent for me to die with all that equipment on me. I mean, I would have to pretty much be eaten by a croc. Which, you know, that's not thought about. Alright, I need to get out of here. The sun's going down and that's when the wild dogs come out to hunt. And they have been known to go after people, which has happened to me in the past, and they're bigger than me, and there's lots of them, so yeah, I'm getting out of here before I get chewed on. See yous.